God said, I'm releasing what has been held back, my friend. Hear me today with an open heart and a spirit ready to receive, because this word carries divine weight and heavenly timing. You have entered a moment where what was locked up is being unlocked. What was delayed is being delivered. What was hindered is being released. And what was held back is being placed into your hands. This is not a suggestion, not a possibility, not a hope, not a wish. This is a declaration from heaven. God said, I'm releasing what has been held back. Everything that was tied up, blocked, frozen, resisted, restrained, or slowed is now being released. Everything that was meant for you but didn't reach you, everything that was promised to you but didn't manifest, everything that was aligned for you but didn't arrive, everything that was prepared for you but didn't transfer, God said, I'm releasing it now. Some of you have felt the frustration of knowing something was meant to happen but never did. You sensed movement but saw no progress. You felt breakthrough but couldn't touch it. You discerned promotion but didn't experience it. You believed promises but didn't witness fulfillment. You prayed over things that seemed sealed. You fasted over things that felt stuck. You cried over things that seemed withheld. And the enemy whispered, maybe it wasn't meant for you. Maybe it's not coming. Maybe you misheard God. Maybe you don't deserve it. Maybe you're too late. But hear me clearly, you didn't mishear God. You didn't imagine your season. You didn't overestimate your calling. Heavenly timing was at work. God said, I'm releasing what has been held back. Some of what you've been waiting for wasn't denied, it was preserved. Some of what you prayed for wasn't delayed, it was protected. Some of what you hoped for wasn't withheld, it was being prepared. God was working behind the scenes, moving pieces, rearranging paths, aligning hearts, positioning opportunities. He wasn't saying no. He was saying not yet, not because you were unworthy, but because the moment wasn't ready, not because you lacked faith, but because the environment needed alignment, not because you were forgotten, but because the release required divine orchestration. And now God is saying, it is time. What heaven authorized cannot remain blocked. What God declared cannot remain delayed. What was written over your life cannot stay restrained. What was meant for your hands cannot stay in the hands of another. God said, I'm releasing what is being held back. Some of you have been waiting on opportunities that seemed close but always slipped away. Opportunities that were promised but never came. Opportunities that required grace you didn't yet have. You watched others step into doors you were qualified for. You watched people receive positions you prayed for. You watched chances rise and fall without explanation. It felt unfair. It felt discouraging. But God was controlling access. He didn't want you walking into a door prematurely. He didn't want you entering a room where your name wasn't celebrated. He didn't want you tied to environments that would mishandle your gift. He didn't want you trapped in places that would drain your potential. But now the season has shifted. The door that was closed is opening. The opportunity that was delayed is appearing. The position that was withheld is being released. The season that was paused is restarting. God said, I'm releasing what has been held back. Some of you have been waiting on financial release. You did everything you knew. You budgeted. You sacrificed. You sowed, you worked, you stretched, you prayed, you survived seasons that shook you financially but didn't break you. You endured tight places that humbled you. You carried responsibilities that weighed on you. You faced unexpected costs that drained you. But hear me, it was not punishment. It was positioning. God was teaching stewardship, developing discipline, and building endurance. He was preparing you to handle what he is about to release. Because what's coming is not a trickle, it's a release. Not a little, an outpour, not barely enough, more than enough. Not survival overflow. God said, I'm releasing what has been held back. Some of you have been waiting for relational healing and alignment. You've been praying for restoration, for clarity, for answers, for genuine connection. You've endured misunderstandings. You've navigated betrayal. You've suffered emotional wounds. You've questioned who was truly for you. You've longed for companionship, community, or reconciliation. You've prayed for relationships that honor your purpose. But God was pruning, removing the wrong people to make space for the right ones. Silencing the wrong voices so you could hear the right ones. Closing the wrong doors to protect your heart. Sometimes the greatest form of protection God gives is delay. But now restoration is coming. Alignment is coming. Healing is coming. Support is coming. Love is coming. Clarity is coming. God said, I'm releasing what has been held back. Some of you have been waiting for spiritual clarity about your purpose, your calling, your direction, your next step. You've felt stuck between seasons, unsure of what to pursue, unsure of what to release, unsure of where God wanted you. You were in transition, too far to go back, but not yet far enough to move forward. You prayed for direction, but received silence. Not because God abandoned you, but because he needed you to be still long enough to receive clarity. Delay is uncomfortable, but it is often divine. And now God is releasing direction, releasing understanding, releasing revelation, releasing confirmation, releasing instruction. You will not walk into your next season blind. You will walk into it guided. God said, I'm releasing what is being held back. Some blessings were held back because the people around you were unprepared for the version of you that blessing would create. God had to shift your environment before he could release what was yours. Some blessings were held back because the moment you received them, some people would have tried to control you, manipulate you, or take advantage of you. God had to create distance to protect the blessing before delivering it. Some blessings were held back because had they come earlier, you would have trusted the blessing more than the one who sent it. But now heaven is declaring the release has begun. Some of you have been in seasons where nothing seemed to move. Doors didn't open, prayers didn't manifest, plans didn't progress, ideas didn't grow, opportunities didn't unfold. You felt stuck in cycles. You felt suspended in waiting. But what you didn't see is that while you felt nothing moving, heaven was moving everything. And now everything is shifting. God said, I'm releasing what has been held back. This release will touch multiple areas of your life at once. Not one area, not two, several. You are stepping into a season of simultaneous release, peace in one area, provision in another, clarity in another, opportunity in another, healing in another. You have survived too much for your next season to be small. When God releases what has been held back, He releases it in waves. You are entering a wave season, a season where blessing after blessing begins to flow. Some of you are about to see sudden release. Release that will shock even you. Release that will shift things overnight. Release that will accelerate your life in ways you didn't expect. Release that will confirm God never forgot you. Release that will remind you that nothing can stop His will. What was held back is being released suddenly. Some of you will see gradual release. Release that unfolds step by step. Release that builds momentum. Release that strengthens your foundation. Release that aligns your decisions. Release that positions you for sustainable growth. Gradual release doesn't mean small. Sometimes it means strategic. Not every release is meant to arrive at once. Some releases arrive in phases because your destiny is built in layers. But all release comes from the same source, God's timing. God said, I'm releasing what has been held back. Some of you will notice that opportunities begin to find you. Not because you chased them, but because the release was appointed for this season. Doors will open without effort. People will bless you without asking. Conversations will shift in your favor. Resources will locate your assignment. What was once difficult will become effortless. What was once blocked will become accessible. What was once hidden will be revealed. Because when God releases, nothing can resist. Some of you are about to experience emotional release. Pain you've carried for years will finally lift. Memories that weighed you down will lose their power. Wounds that shaped your identity will heal. You will feel lighter, freer, and renewed. The emotional release will make room for joy, peace, and hope to return. You will walk into this next season without the heaviness of your last one. Some of you are about to experience mental release. Anxiety will loosen, fear will fade, confusion will lift, overthinking will cease, your mind will quiet, your thoughts will align, you will have clarity you haven't felt in years. Your focus will sharpen, your confidence will strengthen. Mental release is part of your elevation. Some of you are about to experience relational release. People who drained you will fall away. People who didn't value you will exit. People who limited your growth will detach. And people who are aligned with your destiny will enter. Your circle is being corrected by heaven. God is releasing you from relationships that kept you stuck and releasing you into relationships that will help you rise. Some of you are about to experience spiritual release. Revelation will increase. Discernment will sharpen. Purpose will clarify. Your hunger for God will grow. Your ability to hear Him will deepen. Your spiritual authority will rise. You will walk in power you didn't know you possessed. The spiritual release will prepare you for assignments you once feared. God said, I'm releasing what has been held back. This release will not be fragile, not temporary, not unstable, not easily reversed. This release is permanent. This release is protected. This release is sealed by heaven. This release is connected to your next season. The things that were held back were not lost. They were reserved. Reserved for the right moment. Reserved for the right version of you. Reserved for the right environment. Reserved for the right alignment. Reserved for the right season. And the right season is now. Some of you will walk into this release with humility. Others with gratitude. Some with relief. Others with fire. Some with awe. Others with tears. But all will walk into it with purpose. Because the release is not random, it is strategic. God is releasing what belongs to you so you can step into what He called you to. He is releasing resources so you can build, releasing clarity so you can move, releasing healing so you can rise, releasing opportunities so you can advance, releasing connections so you can grow, releasing favor so you can succeed, releasing strength so you can carry your calling. God said, I'm releasing what is being held back. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what God is now releasing into your life.